This NBA Finals edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your free 7-day trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. The finals are here.
Finals are here.
Question mark?
Yes, the NBA Finals. I put on my Eagles jersey because, well, I'm celebrating OTAs. I will be in on the NBA Finals. I'll be betting the NBA Finals, but I'm not gonna put on a Sixers jersey for the NBA Finals. Sixers have just pissed me off so much. Although I'm sure I'll be back in once they, trade and assign Jimmy Butler to a max extension. But we got real OTA action.
You don't have any
running around.
No NBA hats to wear. Well, of course you. Yeah, you don't.
I got my Sixers hats.
No. I mean like an NBA logo.
What do you mean?
So you just pull for the league.
Oh yeah, pull the Rob Lowe. Shout out to the NBA. No,
where's it rank right now? Where's the finals rank for you?
In as
sports
far as
going on right now. Things grabbing your attention right now in the sports landscape.
Skyrocketing number one to the top of the list.
Finals?
Because the NBA Finals. The close would be Stanley Cup is always fun to get into, and then PLL. I've really been enjoying that.
PLL number one for me.
Okay.
OTAs number 2. Digital ponies.
Oh come on, Ryan! Don't
number
even
what? New list.
No.
Digital ponies number 1.
No.
OTAs number 2.
Our company is just Ryan devotes his entire day in day out. He's just grinding. Anytime I walk into a room and he's having a conversation, it's 100% about digital ponies.
It was new.
I see you've passed the virus to Josh, where Josh is just all he's talking about is horse blood, digital horse blood, mixing the right kind.
Yep. Today was fucking day, aka breed day. So yeah,
congratulations.
I was one of those guys who
anyway, the point I was looking to make was at least 3 professional sports ahead of the NBA Finals right now.
Well, Ryan, that's going to get people excited for
what do you mean?
NBA Finals.
They love my takes on the NBA.
Well, we're bringing
Kyrie,
on
flat Earth. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we do. We're going to be joined by some gentlemen from the NBA Gambling Podcast. But before we do that, we have this week's edition of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degen.
Real Men of Degen.
We salute you.
Tucupita Marcano, formerly of the San Diego Padres, who just got a lifetime ban from the MLB for betting on baseball. Total amount bet on baseball, $150,000. Total amount bet on the MLB, $87,319. Average number per bet, $378. Number of MLB bets, 231. Bets on Pirates games. Oh, sorry, he was on the Pirates there. 25 games that he has bet on the Pirates. The MLB bets he won, the percentage, 4.3. That's right. 4.3%. Hasn't he suffered enough? Can't we give this guy time served? Imagine losing 95.7 of your bets and then getting kicked out of the league. Give this poor guy a freaking break. Obviously he can't catch one himself.
Was the average money line price in there? Yeah, maybe he's betting 20 to 1 dogs every time. We don't know that he lost.
I mean, you could give. I want my dog Garth is in the studio. Garth just blindly picking treats off paper would do much better than 4.3%. Now I'm sure he's got some same game parlays in there, whatever, but losing 95.7%. And Ryan, do they have to twist the knife in the guy's back? I mean, they're already banning him from baseball. Do they have to release that he is such a horrific loser? Like, come on. What?
Transparency, right?
I guess, but we don't have to know how bad he was. Really, clearly he wasn't involved in fixing games. They're like,
Jeff Passan, what are you doing?
They said he vehemently denied that any of these bets are compromised. I should hope so. I should hope he's not fixing these games. At least the Jonte Porter won his bets on his own team and on his own player props.
Sean, this would be a good way to set up an account to be ripe for some sharp action. They'll never see it coming. Just switch right over to halftime plays on college basketball. No big deal.
Certainly not going to get limited when you're losing 95.7% of your bets. And what happened? Call me old fashioned, Ryan, but
you're old fashioned.
Is there there's attorney client privilege with lawyers. Is there not sportsbook, bookie, client privilege, customer client privilege? Like, is nothing sacred in this country? Can he not just have his losses in peace? We have to bring those up. The poor guy. I
do feel like we're entering a world where it's almost like countries negotiating for the release of prisoners. Like, why was this guy popped? First of all, you think the books wanted to pop him? No, he's a loser. He's the exact player that the CEO of DraftKings said they wanted to have in their building. Losers. And yet baseball, do you think they want him popped? Well, it's better than Shohei. It's better than some sort of actual baseball star. This feels like a patsy. And they screwed up once again. Someone put a number in there that was just too unbelievable. No one can lose 95% of their bets. Why are we this is just like the money movement. How the fuck did you steal $21 million? Even with all the stuff they've littered out since then, still talk to me about how some of this stuff happened. Okay. But with a guy, how do you lose that often? How do you lose that often?
It's impressive.
It's not possible. Sean, if you walked in here and said I went 95% in the National Football League last season, I'd be like, you're full of shit.
No, I went 85, but
you're still full of shit. Again, that's an impressive. And why is that not even related to the story? I mean, him betting, but what does the balance sheet have to do with it?
No, they really just went out of their way to humiliate this poor guy.
So if it's the other way, do you think they say he won an impressive 95% of his bets?
Well, there was a guy who got, I think, banned for a year. He bet like $100 and he was like cashed. He won 130, so he was up like 30%.
Lifetime plus EV better.
I mean, you can already see. I mean. Now that the guy's banned, he's probably just going to start selling picks.
That goes in your social media profile.
Oh yeah, you're up 30% lifetime on the MLB. That is your X profile if I've ever seen one.
I mean, let Barry Horse know.
All right, Ryan, we're going to get into some hoops. Of course, make sure you get in on our sweet NBA Finals contest where we're giving away $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the listener who wins our NBA Finals prop contest. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals to enter. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals. And of course, Game Time. If you guys haven't gotten over on Game Time, what are you waiting for? Use that promo code SGPN. Maybe you're going to hit up some NBA Finals games, Stanley Cup. I mean, that we all saw that video of that Oilers chick, doing a little flash in the what is it? Flash in the red light in hockey.
Are you talking about the Astros cheating? Someone was banging on some trash cans.
No, banging on the trash cans.
That's a different story.
Shout out to the Oilers, babe. Maybe you're going to go to the Stanley Cup. Maybe you are the Oilers, babe. You're trying to get to the game. Use the promo code SGPN. Go to gametime.co.
She don't need Game Time.
No, I'm sure someone will be willing to hook her up with the ticket.
I used Game Time recently.
Oh yeah,
had a swell experience. Went to the lady soccer game down Angel City. It's the I think I shared this. I mean, no one was coming after me when I made a comment about Caitlin Clark at the NWSL game weeks ago. No, not until I comment on her athleticism. Okay. Anyway, game time was great. Although it seemed like they gave Caitlin Clark preferential treatment as she had better seats than me. Or did she?
Brian, you get the game time guaranteed, lowest price guaranteed. GameTime.co, promo code SGPN. All right, joining us on the line from the NBA Gambling Podcast, you got Munaf, the Machine Manji, and Terrell, the Villain Furman. Terrell, we know you've been hating on the Celtics all season long. When did the Celtics hate start?
Oh, this is I think 2020. I think 2020. I think 2020 when they lost to the Bucks, I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was the Bucks in that playoffs there. That I think that was my final straw where I was like, I'm just never gonna bet this team again, because it was multiple times in that season, and honestly betting before, where the Celtics were pretty big favorites and lost outright and absolutely screwed everything I was doing. And not to mention, I'm a Knicks fan. I just hate Boston in general, and Boston is just a terrible place. But the fact that you also add the Celtics just selling bets, and they continue it for years. They drop the ball as favorites. They don't cover. They lose outright. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah, no, even with this little bit of a run against the depleted Eastern Conference, their win-loss at home in the NBA playoffs, this recent team has not been good. Joining us as well, Munaf, the Machine Manji. Munaf, I'll start you off with this question. Celtics, what is it? 5 Eastern Conference Finals, 0 titles. What is what's been holding them back these previous years?
Themselves. I mean, it's been a team that, again, in clutch time they fold, and I think we've seen that before the acquisition of Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I think those two guys will be pivotal, and we'll talk about everything here in a minute. But it's really been the fact that they weren't able to close it out in clutch moments, and now that they've added 2 guys, maybe that can help them in this NBA Finals. But they've been shooting themselves in the foot, and when you have those opportunities, you have to seize it, and they haven't been able to do it.
It is crazy to think about the fact that they've been in the conference finals every year since 2016, 27, sans 2 years. So, I mean, that's, and they've come away with
0.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, it was the first year. It's like, oh my God, build the dynasty now. These rookies got them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Let's recap it. 2016, 2017, lost Cavs 4-1 conference finals.
I love this song.
2017, 2018. Yeah, give me. This is where I need the Darren Waller.
Turn it up.
Vote card. Lost conference finals. Cavaliers 4-3. 2018, 2019, lost conference semis to the Bucks 4-1. That's embarrassing. 2019, 2020, lost conference finals to the Heat 4-2. 2020, 2021, lost in the first round 4-1 to the Nets. Oh, what an outlier performance there. Got out early. 2021, 2022, lost in the NBA. While they made it to the NBA, they got the conference finals bug off their back. Got to the NBA finals. Lost.
That was a great
Warriors 4-2.
Love that one.
Last season, of course, they made it to the conference finals. And what was it? Were they up 3-0? I think it was.
No, they were down 3-0.
Oh, down 3-0. They worked their way all the way back.
Got it to a game 7, and then, only to have their hearts broken by.
Kind of like those people that left the Heat game early all those years ago when LeBron was playing down there. And then this year, right next to it, it says TBD Dallas Mavericks. It doesn't seem like they have based on this data mining I just did. They don't have what it takes to win the championship.
Great data mining, Ryan.
Thank you.
Terrell, Tatum. It feels like he should be the guy, but he's not quite the guy. You look at his stats, and I mean, I'm seeing
he's a dookie. That's why.
Yeah. He's gotten a bunch of MVP votes, but he's never won the MVP. Even Jaylen Brown beat him out for Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Little small dog energy coming from Tatum. I think there's. Am I looking into it too much? Is Tatum just amazing? I'm a hater, Terrell.
I mean, I guess I'm a hater because talent-wise, Jayson Tatum is the best player on the team. Absolutely. But his play on the court at times doesn't show up to it. And at some point, we have to hold him accountable if he's the best player on the team. I think that if everybody looks at it, everybody has crowned Jayson Tatum as the A. He is better than Jaylen Brown. He is the person that when you have these expectations and you constantly that was a long list, and I understand they were very, very young in the beginning of that list. Very, very young. But at some point, you have to get the monkey off your back. And if you don't do it here, if this is a second chance at the finals, some people don't even get one. If you don't get it done here, then there is a question on the talent at that point.
Who you are, but here's the thing, right? The NBA, it's always the best guy. Best guy wins the champion most of the time.
Yeah.
If you're drafting players from the championship to win the championship, is there anyone you're taking on the Celtics before pick 3?
Munaf shaking his head. Munaf, if you were just drafting players here to help you win this championship, where would you start?
From the current,
I mean, you got to go
like
Luka,
this current
right?
matchup you're talking about.
Yeah.
Luka's number 1. I think that's obvious.
But but where does Kyrie fall?
Number
to me,
2.
That's pretty interesting because you could say Kyrie's
for
number
this
2.
series specifically.
You could say Jaylen Brown is number 2. I mean, I'm old school. I remember that LeBron deferred to Kyrie at times, and Kyrie, we brought it up. He was 14-0. They did miss that one chance. If Kyrie has a chance to put you away, 14-1 straight up in those games, he does have that killer instinct. And as cliche as it sounds, that shit matters in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. Munaf, who would be your second best player if you were drafted?
I think it is Kyrie because because of the playoff experience, right? And he has that killer instinct, like you mentioned.
Let's go.
And Jayson Tatum,
he's dumb enough. That's the thing. He's delirious enough. Kyrie is one of the greatest combinations of irrational confidence and skill. He's J.R. Smith. If J.R. Smith could understand physics, like you think about the kind of stuff that this man has. So I think, I mean, and I would even go farther and say Tatum's probably after Brown. Jaylen Brown at least has some dog in him. I don't know if that Tatum dog, he's like my daughter has this dog named Elsa. It's literally scared of everything.
Yeah,
that's Jayson. We should change its name to Tatum for the playoffs, for the rest of the playoffs.
Oh, I thought you were gonna change nickname Jaylen Brown Elsa.
Oh no, no, absolutely not. That would be Delaney's more of the Jaylen Brown,
more of the alpha type. No, and I was listening to this Boston guy talking about, well, Tatum, his 3-point shooting really has fallen off in the playoffs, and he had all these excuses and his mechanics and this kind of stuff, and it's blah blah blah. But
okay,
I know it's easy to pad your stats against the Pacers. Again, like the path they faced. I don't know, man. I mean, the Pacers did cover 3-1 ATS. They gave him some run there. There's two ways to look at it too. If you look at that Pacers series, the Celtics let them just do whatever they wanted from the mid range. Like, hey, take a bunch of long twos, and they did end up winning that series with that strategy. But I don't know if that kind of approach is going to be able to work with this Mavs team. And I would say this, I don't think it's, Luka, his biggest flaw you could say is his defense. But I think if you look at this playoffs, Dallas in particular has been playing some pretty damn good defense, especially getting Lively back, I think is huge for this matchup. Terrell, what do you make of Dallas's defense? Can they slow down this offensive juggernaut that's known as the Boston Celtics?
I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't think they had it in them to play defense at this high of a level, but they have, and they absolutely turned it on throughout the entire playoffs and coming up big in really big spots. And I think they can do it again because I think they have the size and the length that can really, really mess with what Boston has going on and just clog up lanes and put pressure on them, guard on the ball, and really, really force them off of their spots. And so, I mean, we're gonna see. I think that the rebounding is gonna be the really, really key thing, and Luka's gonna have to be big on the boards. Derrick Jones Jr. is gonna have to be big on the boards. PJ Washington's gonna have to be big on the boards because they're gonna do their best to pull Derek Lively, pull Daniel Gafford out of the paint with Kristaps Porzingis, with Al Horford, and we'll see about the health of Porzingis and if he's even able to keep up because it doesn't sound like it's too good.
Yeah, I mean that's a great transition there over
just
to
force him back. I'm sure it won't impact anything.
Well, yeah, he was close to going Game 4 against the Pacers, and people are like, "Oh, he didn't play. That's actually good. It means they didn't think they needed him." And ultimately they didn't, but I would say that's kind of bad. Like this injury is coming back from, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference clip where they asked him, is he able to run pain free? And he waited for a minute. He goes, yeah, it's like my wife. Hey, do you want to go on this really long road trip to visit the in-laws? Yeah, sounds great. Like he took a minute to process what people wanted to hear from his answer and then gave it. I don't think his instant reaction is that he's pain free. And Munaf, again, this is an incredibly long rest for the Celtics, a team that relies on rhythm jump shooting, aka the 3-ball, to get their offense cooking. And you have KP that they're gonna try and bring back. They're gonna try and give him a go in Game 1. I think maybe there's a chance KP doesn't play Game 1. I don't know, Munaf. What's your take on KP in the series? Does he go Game 1? How does it impact the line? Because I think the line is suggesting he's playing, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's announced like day of, hey, he's out. And the line, of course, right now it's 6.5. If it goes down to like 5 or something, how say you on KP's Game 1 and the series?
Yeah, I think they already came out and said that he's available to play in Game 1.
Okay.
But
so ignore all that stuff I said about might not play.
No. But
he might not play a lot, right?
Yeah, and to your point is like we're gonna wait and see that. Is he gonna start the game? Is he gonna come off the bench? Like, what's gonna be the minutes allocation for a guy like Porzingis? I think that I don't want to say advantage for the Celtics is, but we saw in round 1 with the Clippers and the Mavericks that Kawhi Leonard had missed 10 or I think it was like 12 or 11 games before he did come back for the Clippers. And he looked absolutely atrocious, and it messed with their offensive flow. But that's their number one guy. Like they needed Kawhi Leonard to be out there. For Porzingis, he's a guy that stretches the floor for you. He can knock down those 3-point shots. He can knock down some mid-range jump shots. You know, defensively, he has the height and the length and make things difficult. So they're not really reliant on Porzingis. Obviously, having him, it's going to be a plus. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he does play. Is it going to be like in 5-minute spurts? I don't expect him, if he does play in Game 1, to play more than 20 to 25 minutes because, again, we also got to remember that there are 2 days off in between Games 1 and Game 2. So kind of get his feet wet. And when you're practicing, it's a whole heck of a lot different when you're actually playing in an NBA competitive 5-on-5 game because he also has to get his conditioning back. So, and I think that's the one thing I'm going to be looking out for in Game 1 is like, how does Porzingis look out there? I don't think it'll affect the Boston Celtics a whole heck of a lot. I don't think they'll be forcing him the ball. It's got to get that rust off of him. So I do expect him to struggle a little bit coming out of the gate, but I for the Celtics, it's not that they're really relying on a guy like Porzingis.
We haven't heard any of you three talk about this yet, but there is another ingredient here.
What is that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're dialed in with NBA media. Chandler Parsons was on his FanDuel TV show or whatever, talking about how Luka and Porzingis had a beef.
Oh, I didn't know
when they played together in Dallas, which then got back to Luka because at the press conference when he was asked about it, he said, "I've talked to Parsons." This is a quote. "I've talked to Parsons maybe twice in my life." End quote. They were on the same team. So that's a tough. I mean, so that makes me think that Luka's gonna fuck this Celtics team up.
Yeah,
Luka's gonna fuck Porzingis up.
Yeah, I mean,
this is Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan on Tony Kukoc in the fucking 1992 Olympics.
Charles Barkley boxing out a Angola guy in the 1992 Dream Team.
A guy who used to be on my team who's now clearly in the media maybe twice in my life.
Now Luka really does seem like he has that FU mode.
Oh,
You saw it there in that last game of the Western Conference Finals. Terrell, I mean, we talk obviously Kyrie revenge angle, maybe some of
Mm-hmm.
the Celtics revenge against them, but Luka versus KP, aka Porzingis, that's another interesting revenge. You're a guy who not afraid to dive into the storylines. What is the biggest revenge factor of this series?
Oh, Kyrie is going to fuck this team up. Oh my god! I have a clip. I sent it to the page. I sent it to the page Twitter page. I have a clip. If you pull that up and go to 115, I want you to listen to Kyrie Irving at the end of his tenure at Boston. And don't it sound like this is somebody that's going to come back to haunt this team? I mean, he was miserable.
He did stomp on Lucky, the Boston mascot, which is a guy who's a superstitious gambler. I would not, as much as I hate Boston and the Celtics, I would not stomp on a character named Lucky. I feel like you're just asking for it. Kramer, while you pull that up, Munaf, obviously you like the numbers approach. I imagine there's a bunch of numbers favoring this Boston Celtics team, but I'm gonna pull out a couple that I came across. Basically, the idea that the teams that have been the best in the regular season don't always end up, getting it done in the regular season. The Celtics had an 11.6 net rating, best in the league. The last team to lead the NBA in net rating and actually win the title, you had to go back to the 2016-17 Golden State Warriors. But what are some numbers that I would imagine favor the Celtics, or maybe not? You like the numbers, Munaf. What do you got on the series?
Yeah, I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of numbers. I mean, like you mentioned, it's difficult because they were by far the best team in the regular season, right? Record wise. Again, you can make the argument that they were the best team in the regular season as well. But for me, like, you take a look at what they did in the playoffs. We talked about the injuries that the other teams had, and they made it look easy. And a lot of times we can sit here and say, oh, Boston had the easiest path. But I think at some point, some team, whether it was Boston or if it was another team, would have had that same path if they ended up as a number one seed. So I think that is a little bit overblown. Dallas definitely is going to be the best team that the Boston Celtics do face. As far as numbers go, I do have a game one set I'll throw out you. I know we'll talk about game one later on, but I mean, you said it right there that sometimes the best team numbers wise doesn't win. It's a lot of times the team with the best player wins. But I'm a huge guy when it comes to talking about depth. And I know I have more faith in the depth that the Boston Celtics do have. And I trust guys like Derek White, who's been one of the better role players, Jrue Holiday, who has that championship pedigree, a great two-way player. Are they going to be able to slow Luka down? Possibly, but are they going to be able to shut him down? Absolutely not, because like you guys mentioned, he was an absolute monster in that series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So they have different guys that can throw at Luka. I think that's a key for me. But again, with the depth on this Boston Celtics team, I think that was really the tipping point for me in favor of the Boston Celtics in this series.
27 minutes and 20 seconds. Munaf says, I'm a huge guy. We might have to isolate that. All right. I do have
Cox.
All right, Ryan, cue that up before we do, of course, shout out to NYRA Bets, Belmont. I know we got NBA Finals fever here, but the Belmont is on Saturday. Great weekend of gambling. Of course, if you haven't already claimed your sweet $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus, what are you waiting for? Just go to nyrabets.com/SGPN25. We're going to be talking ponies with our horse guys tomorrow, so make sure you tune into that episode. Again, get the $25 free bet and the $200 deposit bonus for the Belmont Stakes. Go to nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Kramer, what is the old Terrell got cooked up for us?
Yeah. Also worth noting, potentially some or definitely some digital pony talk as well. So,
oh yes,
that if you're into
It
that,
will be way more.
wait, this is not what you sent me, is it? This is not what you. No.
No.
Right, hold on.
All right, Ryan's keying that up.
Did I not? No, I'm taking crazy pills because it was the only thing I clicked on. All right, here we go. Let's do this again.
Take two.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Do too much content today, Sean. All right, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. Scroll to
Kyrie, the
115.
Celtics.
115.
All right, I'll start a little early. Here we go.
He's wearing a hat that just says truth.
Look how sad he looks. Look how demoralized he looks right now. Like, oh
This
man.
is when is this from?
This is from his last year in Boston.
Why is this not playing? I don't know.
All right. Compelling podcasting here. We'll try and get this going. Hey, let's talk series.
It's all right.
Obviously, I'm all in on the Mavs. I'm gonna be hammering the Mavs. I think the fun way to play this, obviously, I'm gonna take him on the series plus 175. But as Kramer mentioned on our VSiN show, I think there's a fun way to play it. Is
That was me getting the audio.
okay.
Right. Keep going.
Fun way to play the Mavs series is like, let's say you have $1,000, you put 900. And you like the Mavs, like I do. You put 900 on Luka MVP at plus 205, plus 210. Then you take 100 on Kyrie MVP.
Awesome strategy.
At 100 at 22 to 1. Versus just taking the series, which would be plus 175. So that's a fun way to play it. I also think that
it's an amazing strategy.
I also think instead of that, I also like putting if you have $1,000, put 500 on Mavs in 6, 500 on Mavs in 7, because I would be very surprised if the Mavs win in 5 or a clean sweep.
So is that $2,000 or?
Well, I'm telling you, if you depending on how you want to break it out, this is what I will be doing: Mavs in 6 and Mavs in 7.
Well played.
Half unit on each. But your MVP way to approach it, I also like that.
That's the only way to play it for me.
Really? Because you think Mavs can win in 4 or 5?
Maybe you do a.
We're not lucky enough. We're not lucky enough for that. The basketball gods would not give me with the opportunity of the Celtics to completely lay an egg in the finals here. They would not.
No,
they would not.
I
would
would
be
either,
unsufferable.
Yeah, I would maybe we talked about this on VSiN, but maybe game 1 Celtics series Mavs. I think it was about 5 to 1 maybe. But no, why wouldn't you if you like the Mavs, which I do, just take Luka to win the MVP, and whatever the difference is between Luka and the price for the Mavs to win the championship, you put that difference on Kyrie as a free roll. That's how it works. So your book might have different prices.
So you're just betting Luka and Kyrie MVP.
When we locked it in, Luka MVP plus 175, I believe. No, plus 205.
Yeah.
And the 35 cents that we gained, or 30 cents depending on your book, we then are going to put that down on Kyrie. So Sean's example is a rough estimate of probably a good breakdown for you.
Munaf, I know you're up against it time wise, but what do you like for the series? What do you like for game 1?
The fuck this turned into a goddamn math class.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the numbers guy.
Happy to do the math for you.
That was hard.
900. If you have $1,000, you can put 1,000 on Mavs at 175.
Terrell, did you get an extra 1,000 on your from a bonus this month? I didn't get it. I don't know what
Hey
you're talking
man,
about.
I didn't
actually.
Hey, they didn't give me
take,
no more
you
bonuses
can,
after the Warriors.
You can take the Munaf bonus money, which I gave myself, and 900 on Luka, 100 on Kyrie.
I did have someone reach out and said, actually, it's really half what you'd be saving. So you should be, all right, blah, blah. I get it. I simplified the explanation, and still Munaf said his machine learning was not up to speed.
The machine is charging right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Munaf, give it. What do you got?
Yeah, I do like Celtics for the series. I'll take them in 6. Again, it's just the depth that I like for this Boston Celtics team. Derek White, Drew Holiday, those are guys that I would want on my side. As far as other series bets, I mean, it's chalky. I think over 5.5 total games. It is moved from minus 150 to minus 165. I think that is the right direction. I don't think either one of these teams get it done within 4 to 5 games. I mean, if the Mavs sweep here, you might see Terrell running naked down his street. He might end up on the news, but yeah. So I do like that. And as far as game one, I do like Boston to get it done. So if you want to play it even simpler and not lay the juice with the Boston Celtics, game one Celtics, and for them the series is around -130.
Boston game one and Boston series. What about
Don't like this at all.
MVP Munaf? What are you doing there?
Yeah, if you want to save 15 cents, Tatum -115. I think it's going to be the top 4 guys. We talked about this extensively on the NBA pod when we did this finals preview. You guys are right that if you do like Dallas, take Luka MVP, sprinkles a little bit on Kyrie Irving as well. I think Jaylen Brown, you guys mentioned he's been the better player and more efficient for this Boston Celtics team. So if you want to get that, I think it's around +650 for that. But I think this is an opportunity for Jayson Tatum to cement himself as one of the top players because, like Terrell mentioned, how many more opportunities are you going to get and do you get in the NBA to get to the finals? And this is the opportunity for Jayson Tatum to cement himself as a top player in the NBA, getting a ring and getting that MVP on his resume. So those are the couple of ways that I would look. It's Jaylen Brown. It's Jayson Tatum. I don't think anybody outside of those two guys will get MVP for this Celtics team if they end up winning.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Brown, I think even if you like the Mavs and you want a small hedge, Jaylen Brown MVP is kind of interesting at +650. I mean, if you like the Celtics, I don't,
what does your model have Jayson Tatum winning MVP?
How many times?
Yeah, out of 100 simulations.
Out of 100? Well, if
I know you only run 100 simulations.
Yeah, a lot of people run 1,000,000. You don't need that. 100 simulations. I would say but I think the Mavs are winning. So a lot of my simulations are Mavs winning.
Yeah.
But let's just say in my simulations where the Celtics win, I think Jaylen Brown gets the MVP like 40% of the time. I mean, he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. I don't know what would change so dramatically that he should be this big of a dog. I think their odds should be closer to each other. I don't think Tatum should be that much of a favorite in the MVP.
Jayson Tatum wins the MVP 2 million times in my simulations out of 1 billion.
Really?
So yeah, it's very low percentage.
Very low percentage.
Only 2%.
Appreciate
Did some more math jokes for these nerds.
Appreciate you calling in, Munaf. Make sure you check him out on X at Real Sports or SportsNerd 824 and Propcast NBA Gambling Podcast.
Yes.
Thanks, Munaf. Let it
Thanks,
ride.
guys.
All right, I'm gonna play this. Should we listen to this Kyrie audio real quick before we get out of here?
Well, we got to talk props, Ryan.
Oh yeah,
and we got to talk game one. And we got to get Terrell's.
We kind of did talk game one.
No, we didn't. What's your pick for game one?
It's not. You got to be kidding me. All right, it's not working. We're not doing this. It was just working. It's not working. We're not doing.
Terrell,
this.
no more producing bits for the show.
I know.
I don't know why it's not. It's very weird. It's almost like the sharing is actually causing the problem. I mean, game one. I said I think the Celtics have a strong chance to I like the angle of taking Celtics game one Mavs series. Like that would be the angle. If I wasn't going to only play the MVP situation on the Mavs. So
delete any of these other bets I'm writing down for you.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm confused. You said, what are you playing here?
I'm explaining. Pay attention.
I was listening. I said
the Mavs series price is donkey shit.
Okay.
Play this highly calculated out MVP bet that you explained very well. And then if I was going to play something on the series, it would be that Boston wins the first game, Mav wins the series. Then they get the series. It's 5-1. That would be the angle because you can't just lay Boston money line. That's more donkey shit. And so that was my angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you preface it by saying if. So
what do you mean if?
You said if you were going to play this
as
series.
if like you wanted to play the series in a different way.
Okay.
Than just taking Luka and Kyrie to win the MVP.
Right. I mean, Terrell, are you following this? I'm writing down.
You asked me what I wanted, what I like for game one. I think Boston wins the game. I'm giving you a way to take Boston wins the game with the Mavs.
I think the if is just for everybody else. That's his picks. Those are his picks. Those are his picks.
So write these picks down then.
Yes, write those picks down.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
He's writing your picks down.
You're saying if I was going to play this.
Okay.
So what are you playing?
Yes. See, Terrell gets what I'm saying.
Boston. Okay. Boston to win the first game.
Okay.
Mavs win the series.
Got it.
I'm gonna
5-1.
I see what we're
Very
doing
simple.
here.
And then what do you like for game one? Are you laying the 6.5?
No, I'm gonna take that 5-1. Boston wins game one. Dallas wins the series. That's my game one play.
Okay.
Oh, you're not
Piling
betting
on
game
top
one.
of the Kyrie MVP and the Luka MVP that I have for the series.
All right. Now that's clear. Terrell, what do you like for the series? What do you do in game one?
All right, for the series, let's start with the first 3 games because congratulations. First off, congratulations are in order to Joe Mazzulla because he finally got the monkey off his back. He finally swept at home in a series.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It took 8 straight series, but congratulations for finally
Did not
being able
drop
to get
any
it
home
done.
games.
Yes, so he finally did not drop 7 straight series. The 8th one, he finally got it done. And so now he's due. Oh, he's due. And he's due for a home loss in the worst way. And I hope it's in game one. But if I think that it's going to be in game one or game two, think about this. It goes 1-1 back to Dallas. They haven't had the NBA Finals in Dallas since 2011. Back when I think that place is going to be electric. I think the team is going to be on one. They're going to win that game. So if I can get a correct score after 3 games, Dallas 2-1 at plus 210, absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is 2-1 Dallas plus 210. So I'm going to play that. Of course, I'm going to take Luka Doncic MVP. And I'm calling my shot. I think Dallas wins this on their home floor. I think Dallas can sweep at home here. Or if they drop one and the Celtics go back home, like what would be the most Celtics thing to happen for this
Losing
to be
game
a
7
2-2
in
series?
the NBA Finals.
Well, that's actually pretty good too. That I kind of like that. But a 2-2 series going back to their home floor where everybody says that they are locked. They're not going to lose game 5 on their home floor. And there's been so many times that they have dropped a game 5 on their home floor. So I think that situation, if it gets 2-2 back to game 5 on the home floor, game 6, Dallas is taking it all the way. So give me Dallas. I'm going to lay 1.5 games at plus 300.
Ooh, okay. So you're taking the series price, Mavs minus 1.5. Yeah, I mean, I like Dallas for game 1, 6.5. Dallas on the money line. I just think this is such a long layoff for the Celtics. I don't think I think Tatum's not going to have an amazing game 1. But yeah, Mavs for the series at plus 175, Mavs in 6 at plus 550, Mavs in 7 plus 800, and then the Luka Kyrie MVP formula that Kramer gave out on VSiN that we're re-giving out here. I like it all. I think Dallas, and we keep talking about how game 7s, I mean, just watch this series. Like game 7s have not been great for the home team, and the Mavs have been fucking assassins on the road. They have been great on the road in these playoffs. They're 7-2 now straight up on the road in the NBA playoffs. The Celtics are horrible at home. I mean, give me one game where Kyrie puts the team on his back on the road in Boston, and give me one Luka game on the road. They win 2 games on the road. I think they're in a great shot.
And there's actually a prop of that on. Let me see here. Yes, there is. I just saw it.
Yeah.
So number of road wins in the finals. You can get an exact result. Road wins in the finals.
You got to let them win the first. If you're the Mavs and you feel confident, you let the Celtics win the first game to get their confidence up, and then you just rip their heart out.
That's how it goes. If you look at some of their series, they'll blow a team out in game 1 and then drop game 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's start a little props for game 1. Of course, make sure you head over to Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Get that free 7-day trial. They're some of their top plays already. They like Daniel Gafford over 8.5 points, plus 106. They got him projected at 10 points.
I feel like they run back Gafford. For every game.
I mean, Gafford is projecting well. I mean, I don't know if you can get this a lot of places, but KP under 15.5 points. I love that one. at -102. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Get in over there.
Boyd. Better hope he doesn't play for a couple minutes.
Oh, that would be great. That is the dream scenario. And why don't we talk a little bit? We'll give out some higher lowers for NBA. They have the game one things open, and of course they now have this pick 8. If you haven't been following this, I guess pick 5 wasn't enough for some people. I have a feeling our audience probably reached out to Underdog Fantasy and said like, "Hey, pick 5's fun, but can you give us a pick 8? You can win up to 325x your original amount." They are running a bunch of player specials like they always do, and you can actually use some of the player specials in your pick 8. I think we start firing on a couple of these, and maybe people can use them in their own pick 8s. We'll let you go first, Terrell. What are some early game one higher lowers you like for this matchup?
The real question is happy hour pick 8.
Oh,
Is this coming into fruition, guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do for the guys that work for us that show up for the monthly happy hour, we do a group Underdog entry. Again, promo code SGPN gets you that deposit match. And pick 8 would be pretty legendary if we could take home a pick 8. We've had what is it, like back-to-back 4
My
out
back
of 5.
hurts. My back hurts.
Comically bad.
Terrell and the NBA. Well, Terrell has been doing good. There was a gentleman who was on the show earlier that wanted to fade Joker. That was our one loss for last happy hour. But
that's why he's in the penalty box right now.
Yeah, he's doing his time served. I think I know I gave it to Terrell, but I'm gonna hop in here. KP lower 15.5 points.
Whoa.
You can get that over on Underdog right now.
Really?
I think that's bonkers because I think there's a world where he plays, but man. Yeah, that
he's
he
not
plays
be
so many minutes that he gets higher 15.5 points. Again, if he doesn't play at all, but to Munaf's point, they said he's going to be available. So I like Zinger under lower 15.5 points. What are some Underdog plays you like for game one here, Terrell?
Yeah, I'm going to the big dog, Luka over 8.5 rebounds here. And I think that the opportunity is effort, and the fact that I think they are going to try to space out the bigs out of the paint, and they're going to try to pull them to the perimeter with Al Horford, with Kristaps Porzingis. That's why Kristaps Porzingis is trying to give it a go. I agree with the lower on Porzingis there, but I think Luka is going to, when it opens up, he's a ball hawk when the ball goes up in the air. And so, yeah, I'm going to take Luka over 8.5 rebounds. I think that line is way too low.
So you're going higher. They have it at 9 rebounds right now. Do we still like it at 9?
Yeah, higher at 9.
Okay. I'll take so we got lower on KP points, higher on Luka rebounds. Kramer, anything you like? We just talked about Jaden Hardy, higher 4.5 points.
No, I think we take I think we zag a little bit, so it's not just all emotional. We take Tatum higher first quarter points.
Oh, actually, I like that because he's been
no real leverage. Then it's perfect time for him to come out and be hot, pad those stats.
Yeah. Well, I do worry the time off, but you're right. He has been very good. You
said that earlier. It's not like that. Both teams have had a tremendous. It's like 2.5 days difference. They've both been off for a while. I hope you haven't been leaning too hard into that days because I don't know if you saw the press conference, but Luka was asked about this.
Yes.
And it did seem like it maybe was too much time off for Luka.
So maybe it'll balance out. So Ryan is going Benedict Dundee here. Higher 7 first quarter points for Tatum. We got higher 9 rebounds for Luka. Lower KP points at 15.5. Do we add a fourth one in here, Terrell? Is there anyone else jumping?
What about Gafford? We keep talking about.
Gafford's been good. His rhythm has him projected at 10 points. We could also do the Jaden Hardy. His price is 4.5 points, which is always fun to take one of these hires for a guy with a low number. How say you, Terrell? Any of these other ones you like?
If I either want to trust Derek Lively, or I actually would go the Jayden Hardy well. I would try the Jayden Hardy well, because what if this goes the way, what if this doesn't go our way? what if this is the blowout by Boston in game 1 and they look dominant? Hardy's going to get some of those extra minutes in the free time. So, I mean, I'm with the Hardy play, and I'm with Derek Lively if we go that route as well.
Jaden Hardy higher 4.5 points. Yeah, I mean, he's hit it 4 out of his last 5 games. It didn't get it done in that Minnesota, the last win against the T-Wolves, but other than that, he's been shooting pretty well. All he needs is a 3 and a layup. So yeah, I'm in.
I got another one.
All right, one more. Are we getting up to?
Kyrie?
We're at 4 right now.
Kyrie, or you want to play Kyrie?
Oh, we got to play Kyrie.
What do you want to play?
Let's see here. Let's
There's
look at some of these.
4.5
first
quarter
numbers?
points. 4.5 points.
Yeah, see, I don't want to mess with. I feel like one first quarter is fine.
So your first quarter, Jayson Tatum, he is averaging 8.4 points in the first quarter of these playoffs.
The number is 7. Boom.
Yeah, but what about Kyrie?
I don't have a number. He is no. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, Kyrie. Why don't we do Kyrie higher 2.5 threes made? How do you like that one, Terrell?
Yeah, I think that's a good opportunity. Especially because I think he's gonna try to get hot, and I think they're gonna try different ways to scheme him open, and it's gonna be a threes fest. Like that's honestly where I think that this series is gonna come down to is who's able to hit their threes, especially the corner threes from PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Kyrie Irving, and between Boston, they live or die by the 3. If Boston is hitting their threes, this game is going to get ugly. But if they're able to limit Boston on perimeter and be able to hit some of their own, then I think it's clearly Dallas' way. So yeah, I'm fine with 2.5 threes with Kyrie Irving.
All right, we're at 5. I assume we just stop there. We don't want to go to 8.
He said I think I heard that you had a Lively angle you wanted to play.
Oh yeah, what do you like in Lively?
I mean, you start your centers against the Celtics. And like, we don't question this. We have Gafford and we have Lively. You take your pick, and I understand why they have Gafford projected at 10 because centers dominate the Celtics. And it's not even dominate in the fact of it's 25, 30 plus points. No, it's the fact that these centers lines are at 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, and the Celtics will let centers go for 15. Look at the last series. Miles Turner. Look at the series before that. Evan Mobley. Look at the series before that. Bam Adebayo. All season, we fade that position against the Celtics. Well, we back that position against the Celtics. So, yeah, if you tell me you want to take a center prop against Celtics, I will never tell you wrong.
So Lively higher 8 points?
Yes, we can go higher 8 points. Points and rebounds, I think, is a great play. But the 8 points feels good with the fact of the pick and roll. I think that's really going to be where they really do a lot of damage with him and Luka Doncic.
Oh, what is this? I can't go pick 8.
You can. I think it's.
Oh, I gotta go somewhere else. This is a disaster. Complete disaster on the show. First, the Kyrie clip won't play. Now this, and just don't do that one. Just don't do that one.
We keep it off the.
Just keep it at 5.
All right, we'll keep it at 5. We'll simplified. 20x. I'm seeing Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Let's get it. Good times, Terrell. As always, where can we catch you? What do you got? Not only the NBA gambling podcast, but you got the WNBA gambling podcast. Want to toss out any locks or? I know you guys have been on a heater with your locks, so feel free to tout here a little bit.
Oh, well, I mean, it went final while we were on the air, but Storm, my last lock that I've had, Storm -7.5 cash, and that brings my lock record to an astounding 12-1. 12-1.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god!
What is this?
All right, this is it. I'm subscribing to the WNBA podcast.
Elite athleticism right
Let's go. How's Scott doing? Are you dominating Scott in locks at least?
I am dominating Scott. I mean, you would be dominating anybody at 12-1, but Scott's working his way back to 50%. He just hit another lock this past episode with the Sky and Liberty under. He had the under 164.5. It finished at 163.
That would be Scott to be deep into the WNBA totals.
Yeah. Come on, he's not just gonna give you the ATS. He's gonna dive deep. He's gonna get you some sweet totals. So make sure you check out WNBA Gambling Podcast.
Quick question, NBA Sean: Is there an edge?
There is. All right, good times as always, and make sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to toss out there, Terrell? What do you got? Of course, follow him on X at ReallyRel _. And yes, good times. I'm sure we'll talk to you more NBA Finals, unless the Mavs crush them. I mean, we could. This could be over in 4 games, Ryan.
Could be. And that's like 2 weeks from now.
Unsufferable. I'd be unsufferable. I'd actually command a 15-minute spot at the start of the next show just to get the rant out.
Let's go.
It's
Fuck
like, we need one of those like 10-minute one shot camera like walkthroughs, like in the what's that latest war movie where it's just Terrell shitting on the Celtics for an entirety. You do a 10 minutes straight, like a freestyle all right. We're gonna make this happen. It'll be full feature film coming. Stay tuned.
Tune in, spitting some bars.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean. Second the money green. He's Ryan.
Darren Waller did think he was good.
Kramer, let it ride.